Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us right here on Friday Live. Like I told you right before the break, we have very amazing creatives here who, of course, speak truth to power. They, of course, do their art in matatus, in different forums, and they speak about national matters, even social matters for that aspect. And we have with us Willie Oeba and Brian Silwes here. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
No, we're happy that you're here, you know. And like I mentioned, you speak truth to power, and you use the art of spoken word to do that, right? So I want you both to just freestyle a bit right now before we get into a conversation. What's your name, Brian? Brian, let's begin with you. Yeah, because this marks 2 years of President Ruto's, governance in our country. And what do you feel about it in a spoken word form?
Amazing. Thank you. Yes. So, civic education, just like the greatest player in the world, apart from playing many roles, it has a lot to offer. Na si mara moja, maybe Maradona. I mean, aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of having artificial leaders without intelligence? Aren't you tired? Aren't you tired of seeing women with first-class honor being left behind? You see, this is not a love letter, but I love letters. A, B, C, D. My problem comes when it reaches to FGM. You see, sheria ni kama msumeno na unakata pande zote. Lakini mbona mnakubali our girls wakatwe na wembe? You see, tukidisagree, inaweza fika point of correction. But ikipasist ifike point of erection, tafadhali brother usimbake. Because whom I choose to love should be the reason behind my happiness, not the reason behind buzz nikikula maharagwe. Nita keep on fueling hii conversation mpaka ifike aliko Dangote. So nasema, I'm talking about black women. Use your hands to clap, not to slap that woman. What a man can do, a woman can do better. Imagine Tanzania, Samia is coming up with Suluhu at that front lead. You can't deny the fact that it took a strong faith for Kipyegon to win that marathon in Berlin. You see, she taught me cut across, but don't cut down trees. Why plant machines instead of planting seeds? Tell you Wangari Maathai will surely miss her for this. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Do we do this?
Yeah.
All right, Willie.
Wow. This goes out to our fathers. Out to boys, our Jui, their dads, they are our brothers. Out to a government that doesn't care after elections, we are now treated as others. Well, this goes out to keep it lit, because only a rising smoke that gathers. When youth depressed, tuna kazi na serikali na pea kazi wenye wanafaa wa retirement. So mbona una tense na hata mood ya worry? Na pesa ya kisima waliiba, and that's the damn truth. Sudden death is viewed kama spoiled votes, that's the sad truth. Hakuna food, shelter, matter, clothing, that's the naked truth. Mayouth hawana fare kwenda job interview, politician kenye namsumbua ni mafuta ya ndege. Well, that's the plain truth. Life ain't easy, that's the hard truth. It's not about sagging, drugs do create my wasted youth. Inchi mashef hawezi afford ile food wana cook. Domoptician wanalipa hawezi hata piga look. Kill sin to see God hata utoe tithe aje tiketi ya heaven inunuliwi maimuk. Itakuwaje cry za tajiri ni intellectual lakini cry za maskini kwa masikio justice ni kelele. Itakuwaje una believe in me na nikicheza kimimi mnashikwa na kiwewe. Itakuwaje unaninyima opportunity ya kupata kazi lakini kwa club unataka nipewe. Na effect ya nguvu ya thao inafika malinduri ya mnyonge iwezi fika. Ballot box na DSTV zinafika malidisha iwezi fika. Watoto wanalala njaa mulikunywa na pesa ya kula na vizuri mnajua pombe iwezi lika. Wanasiasa wanadanganya. Si movie peke yake ni kutriki. Uchumi ni mbaya, mpaka ukisaidia rafiki yako pesa yako unapoteza rafiki yako na pesa yako. Yani uchumi imekuwa mbaya, mpaka ukifanya mabaya malipo si hapa. Jesus alibetraywa na kiss. Woko hapo unajichocha juu ulipewa hug. Wajinga nyinyi.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? You use this form to pass along messages which are very critical, especially during the time that we've had. And when did this begin? Because you've won an award.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you also have been affected. You said that you've been profiled before because of how you appear. You know, just walking in the streets, and you've detailed, of course, your account with the police. Yeah. Right. So when did this begin to be very real you know, for both of you? I'll begin with you, Willie.
Wow. So I started spoken word professionally in 2014, but I had an encounter. So basically I was doing pieces on love. Love is good.
Yeah.
But I had an encounter with a policeman on the 21st of January 2017. I was almost shot for mistaken identity. That is when I started writing pieces on social justice, because I realized if we don't amplify, and so back in Nakuru there's a gang. There was a gang called Confirm Gang, and this gang used to send people text messages. If you've ever gotten a message telling you, I've sent you money, please send it back. Yes, so it originated in Nakuru. So that time I had baby locks, and that is the ugliest face of dreadlocks. So I looked like someone they were looking for, case of stereotype. And after that ordeal, they say when a gun is put on your head, at that moment, your whole life flashes in front of your eyes. And if they don't kill you yet, then you live as a man who has nothing to lose. So from that point, now I started writing on pieces on social justice, gender mainstreaming, forced disappearance. I did an album called Dear God. And then after that, 2019, we did a piece with King Kaka, that is Wajinga Nyinyi. So I started doing pieces on social justice because, again, if we stop writing and holding the pen, then what happens to people who cannot speak? So it dawned on me on the 21st of January 2017, because after that ordeal, it was so bad that I had to knock the gun down and people had to come. That was my point of rescue. So I DM'd Boniface Mwangi on Twitter, but he saw it way later and was like, if I have a talent, I can use my voice to amplify these issues, then let me do pieces on social justice.
I see. Quite interesting. And you know, Brian, you also mentioned that you were walking on the street and then you got accosted by police, six police officers for that matter, who also profiled you for something you did not know was the reason, and it was because you had done a spoken word like he was doing, and then now they had an issue with that. Elaborate that for us more.
Mine was an evening, but I've had a lot of encounter, but that one, I was coming from an event, and then initially I had done a spoken word, and then I was interviewed in another media. So it was all about being a human rights advocate and championing for the voice of the voiceless. Now, I was passing, and then these 6 police officers, they just ambushed me, and they were like, ni wewe. Wewe ndo unajifanya unajua kuongea kuhusu hizi issues nini. Like polisi akiumizwa huwa uongei, lakini watu wengine vijana wakipotea, vijana wakiuliwa.
And what did you feel about that?
I was shaken.
When they told you that, you know, that when police officers get affected, you don't speak about it. But ikikuwa hii side ingine, you speak about it. How did you feel about that?
I speak about everyone. A human rights advocate is actually an active citizen. Even you are an active citizen because you're talking about it now. So I was like, I'm not supposed to go there and just like, because it's police officer, sasa nianze kuongelea police officer specific. I talk about everyone. I talk about everyone. It's all about inclusivity. So I was shaken because I was like, why? Because even I champion for your rights. I champion for those people who are in the marginalized community. Me speaking about girls going through FGM, how is that a problem? If the government is not doing what it's supposed to do, how is that a problem? Now they hit me, they harassed me, vitu mingi wakanipeleka huko, nawaambia waniandikie makosa yangu ni gani, sina makosa, they're just laughing, they're just enjoying, and I was like, how can I nitateteaje mtu kama huyu, to be honest? But I think theirs was from a point of bitterness, yani hiyo tu kuwa bitter, and then pia I think ni hiyo tu kuwa kuna tu wase wako tu hapo wenye wanawatuma tu wanawaambia ule msee because police sasa mimi nasumbuania na nini.
I see. And you know, another aspect is spoken word was there from before. I remember covering it, but now it's now integrated in public participation. It's part of the movement. Just the same way there was a big surprise in young people knowing national matters to the depth that they know. Now art is, you know, part and parcel of national conversation. You cannot say kuna watu ambao wanajua politics na kuna wale ambao hata kama waelewe vizuri, there is an integration of sorts. Now for you who's done it for a long time, and then seeing the kind of full circle moment we've had with politics and national matters, how do you feel about it?
Wow, it feels nice. It's actually, when the protest started, I was in New York for a fellowship, and I had to come back because that was a realization of what we have been doing for a long haul. And literally, even us, we are standing on the shoulders of giants, because we had other artists like Eric Wanaina, like Giuliani, who did set pace at that time. And we set the conversation over time. And when the protest now started full circle, it made me happy, because now the collective conscience as a nation had been pricked. And now Kenya will never be the same again. And what we are going through right now is the revolution of the mindset. So even now, people think the movement now is quiet, things are quiet, but people are undergoing the revolution of the mindset. And we are not where we used to be, but we have to respect the fact that we are not where we want to be, but we have to respect the fact that we are not where we used to be. So revolution and people being emancipated is not a one-day thing. And we use art, just like any other platform, to keep revolutionizing their mindset. So it is really fulfilling, because when we started, actually, people are telling us, stop cloud chasing, leave politics to politicians, you see. So right now, people now have embraced art, and we are setting the agenda. And that is why we are going to the matatus, because we realized these are the places that these messages need to get to, because we perform in stages, corporate events, our own concerts, but now we are taking the message to the people where it matters most.
All right. Now we're taking a short break, but before, rather when we come back, you'll be telling us about the revolution mindset. What exactly does it mean? We'll be back with more of this conversation. Stay with us.
Have you watched K24?